For today's video lesson, I'm going to show you how I just made a very simple setup of a sheet of paper propped up with a glass on a table with a simple object. It really does help if your object is white or a solid color, because what I'd like you to try to do is find a lamp in the house and light your object so that on the white piece of paper you have highlights and shadows that are cast on the bottom. You'll see what I'm trying to do today is find very simple materials, either colored pencils or Crayola crayons to try to draw. What today's lesson is really going to be about is shading and thinking about how you can layer color together to shade and create values. So I'm going to position myself here at the desk and I'm going to do a real quick drawing. I'll start with a pencil or a crayon version first. So again, everything starts off with a composition, so I'll start off with a rectangle and I'll figure out where I want my composition to be. So if I want the bottle to sort of be here, again, confident marks, as always. That's probably the most important thing that you can be working on right now, is just confident marks, seeing and looking with that careful artist's eye here. I try to use my pencil to try to get lines set up the way that I see them and angles set the way that I see them. This comes up, maybe goes right to there. And that's it. So that's my drawing. I will figure out where that cast shadow is. And that's it. So to start building up values, just like we did with the graphite pencils, I'm pressing in various degrees to kind of create a sense of highlight, mid-tone, and shadow. I'm not going as dark as I need them to be right now, but I'm just going to get the general sense of what I see here. So this here is darker than this, but this is darker than that. These two about match. There's a little shadow under here. There's a shadow under here on this side that extends that way. And there's a shadow inside of this here. So I've tried to capture all of that. Then I'm going to extend my shadows this way. I try to shade in the direction of where the shadows are going. And then here's now the new information or the new lesson. When you are shading, you can use opposite colors, so colors that are farther away from your color, to create shadows without using black, which tends to look a little muddy. So I'm actually going to layer over here on this side with blue and over here with blue. Now this right here is probably the darkest, is right up in here. So I'm looking at placing the values in relationship. Now I'm going to layer back over with the color that I have everything. Pressing a little bit harder to kind of blend those two together. This technique works really well with colored pencils as well. I will add another color to add more variety. So I'm adding orange here on top of the red, and maybe a little bit up here on top of that red, to give a little bit more variety of tone and a variety of colors, which ends up looking a lot more interesting. So this is what I want you to do today. You're going to shade I'll have you upload your drawings. I want you to use a variety of colors and try to blend. When you want to go dark, don't use black. Black really ends up making things look muddy. So try to use a color other than the color you use. So I'm using blue right now over that red, which is kind of helping me make things look really dark where they need to be. But they're not black. They're not kind of muddy. I'm going to take my time now and look at a little bit more subtlety of the values that I have and where I have to shade them. I'm trying not to shade what I know or what I think. I'm trying to shade what's actually there. So I'm making adjustments as well. I don't know if you can see that, but I did go back and adjust some of the placement of things. Again, I'm layering on with different colors to make it more interesting. I will take a very, very light tone here, and then I can make something up for shading the background a little bit. The background shouldn't be totally flat. It does have value to it. So I'll come in over here. I'll shade a gradient that goes over here. Try to find some colors in your house if you have crayons. If you don't, do this same exercise in black and white. I really want to see. I want to see that you are really trying to capture the three-dimensionality of a form as you do this.